guys, so we're going to work on L3, effectively using participial phrases. Got a nice typo up there. Participial phrases are going to describe nouns or pronouns, but they're actually verbals being used as nouns. So that's super confusing, and you don't have to know that, but it just, for your information. Past participles are going to end in ed, and present participles are going to end in ing. Just like appositive phrases, you want to set them off with commas because they're interrupting the flow of the sentence. So, for example, she was quite far from the windows, which were to her left, and behind her were a couple of tall bookcases containing all the books of the factory library. So this part, that's the participle itself. The whole phrase is the participial phrase. Notice it's right next to what's being modified, which is bookcases, and we got our comma there separating. Next example, minute fungi overspread the whole exterior, hanging in a fine tangled webwork from the leaves. So here's our participle. The rest is the participial phrase. Modifying fungi. Now notice that it's separated a little bit from the word that it's modifying, but it still makes sense. To be even more clear, you could move that right after to fungi. So I would say minute fungi hanging in a fine tangled webwork from the eaves overspread the whole exterior. And then the last example, we got our participial phrase at the beginning, and our comma, modifying Marty. Marty suddenly thought of Halloween and turned snowballs of the schoolyard. So this part is your main sentence. So they work very similarly to apostrophe verbs. Some more examples. In 6 months, a dozen small towns had been laid down upon the naked planet, filled with sizzling neon tubes and yellow electric bulbs. So notice here, we're in the past tense, so we got that ed ending. There's our participle modifying towns. And again, you could move it. This is your main sentence. Okay, the tent, illumined by candle, glowed warmly in the midst of the plain. Illumined by candle is modifying tent. We got our comma and our comma. Our main sentence. The tent glowed warmly in the midst of the plain. And lastly, enchanted and enthralled, I stopped her constantly for details. So we got our participles, our comma, our main sentence, and that is modifying I. So we're now going to practice combining sentences, which is what you're going to do on the mastery check. All right, so we got the dishwasher was invented in 1889, so we know this sentence is about the dishwasher being invented. The dishwasher was invented. We got repeating information by an Indian housewife. The first dishwasher was driven by a steam engine. So this whole thing's about the dishwasher, so that's what we're going to start with. Actually, I'm going to start with an appositive phrase because we already have a past participle here. So we're going to say invented, and then here, by an Indian housewife. Comma. And then what are we trying to say about it? Let's see. The dishwasher because this is our participial phrase is modifying the dishwasher. The dishwasher, let's see, it was invented and then in 1889. And what are we missing? It was driven by a steam engine. Okay, and driven by a steam engine. Okay? There's several different ways you could have combined these. You could have used having or being driven by a steam engine, the first dishwasher, blah, 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 blah. So just kind of work with it and figure out what works best for you. On your mastery check, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to combine each subject into one by using a participial phrase. And you can use more than one participial phrase, that's fine, but you don't really have to in these. Let me know if you need help, and then you'll be ready for your next lesson.